views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of BronxNet or the program underwriters.
Good evening and welcome to BronxTalk. 27 years ago, we debuted this program on BronxNet television, and we're still here talking about the Bronx after 1,321 programs. Tonight, we've got a special program for you with a Bronxite who has enjoyed 5 decades of some of TV's most important programs. She's won 15 Emmy Awards for writing. She's an actor, an author, a speaker. She's on the Bronx Walk of Fame, and now creator of her own animated TV series called Alma's Way, which is what we're going to talk about tonight. It's wonderful at any time to see Sesame Street's Maria, but known in real life, in Bronx life, as Sonia Manzano. It is so nice to see you again, Sonia, and our pleasure to welcome you back to the program.
Well, thank you. It's great to be here, Gary. Congratulations on all the years you've been on the air.
I guess we have been on the air and you do outlast me a little bit, but one day we'll catch up. Anyway, joining Sonia and is a great talent in her own right, the Chief Creative Director and the Chief Creative Officer for Fred Rogers Productions. It is Ellen Doherty. Ellen, nice to have you with us.
Thank you, Gary. Lovely to be here.
Well, we're real excited. I know my guests are real excited, but I've seen excerpts, and I'm real excited about Alma's Way. It portrays the Bronx, my hometown, our hometown, to the rest of the world. And so let's just talk a little bit. There's a quick look at Alma's Way. Let's talk, Sonia, a little bit about the creation of it. When did you say, hey, this is something we ought to be doing?
When somebody asked me to think about it, I wouldn't have thought of creating a show after Sesame Street. That's a tough act to follow. But Linda Saminsky at PBS Kids asked me to create a show with a Latin family in it. So, of course, since I'm Puerto Rican, I made it a Puerto Rican, New Yorican family. And because I'm from the South Bronx, that's also where I placed it. So when she asked me to do that, I just stepped up to the plate.
I was thinking that, I was just kind of imagining that maybe when you were at Sesame Street, you said, well, we're doing well here. Now my time is ending. I'm moving on. Then at that moment you said, there's more here. Am I wrong about that?
Well,
or you really got somebody else to say, hey, come on, Sonia, let's do this?
Well, I mean, it's very hard to get a television show off the ground. So frankly, I was perfectly happy to continue writing my children's books and working with Scholastic as I had been. But I think that when Ellen Doherty from Fred Rogers Productions decided to develop the show further, it was an opportunity I really couldn't pass up. And I think that we've done a great job of it. As you know, Sesame Street was placed in a real environment, but because under Ellen's leadership, we've taken it a step further where we actually have the number 6 train on it.
I didn't know which number train it was, but that is one of the things you actually saw in that very quick clip that we showed. The fact that the subways, of course, which are ever present, there's another look at it. The subways, which are ever present in our hometown, and little girls and little boys, it's in the background. And now we're saying, guess what? This is part of your life, and it's okay to be that way. You told me, I guess last week sometime, that it took you 7 years to create this thing and to get it to a point where, by the way, we're recording this on Wednesday. On Monday morning, it will debut on PBS on Channel 13 here in New York. But why did it take 7 years to create the thing?
Want to take that, Ellen?
All right. So there we go. Maybe that's the entree to bring in the Fred Rogers Productions chief officer there. So tell us a little bit about why it took so long and what goes into creating a program like this.
Sure. Well, I think that, Sonia was working on the idea for a couple of years, noodling, thinking, pondering, envisioning. And when she came to us, she had a really clear vision of what she wanted to do, what the stories, the world that she wanted to create, and the kind of stories around Alma and her family that she wanted to tell. And I think that the creative process is just that. It's a process. So we spent a year working together, kind of doing that mind meld of collaborating and understanding each other and getting to know each other. And then we put in a proposal to PBS for a pilot. We got greenlit to pilot and produce that. That took a whole year. And then now it's 2018, we did that. In 2019, we got the pilot and we were greenlit to series. And we started working on the series in January of 2020. And
so here we are now, September. I don't want to push the envelope. Soon to be October 2021, and we've hit the air. So I want to show a clip, so we stop talking about it in the third person and really give people a sense of what it's like, and then we'll break down. There's just so much in it. So I don't know if anybody want to introduce this. I'll introduce it. This is what the Bronx looks like through the eyes of children, and this is a way to get them to understand their surroundings and who they are. How was that? That was good, right? Sonia, we nailed it?
Well, that's pretty good. I don't know which clip you're going to show, but basically the show is about thinking, and that's what we want to promote. Every episode has a moment where Alma goes into her head, a thought bubble type thing appears, and we see the process of her thoughts. Now, that's the main thing that we want to get across through the lens of this effervescent Latin family.
You have described it perfectly. Ladies and gentlemen, drum roll, please. We're going to present Alma's Way now to the borough of the Bronx. Take a look.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, Alma. We're checking out this awesome mural on the store's gate.
But what is it a mural of? Hey, Refia, what's your dad have on his gate?
I'm glad you asked, 'cause you just gave me a great idea. Follow me.
Hi, Baba. Mr. Huda.
Hi there.
Hi, kids.
Ta-da!
It's blank.
Exactly. Hey, Baba, I have an idea. Why don't we paint our store's gate like all the other cool-looking gates in our neighborhood?
Oh, yes. That would be great, Rafia. Perhaps you and your friends can do something wonderful, yeah?
Cool.
I know. What if we painted...
Spaceships. A whole bunch of spaceships and rockets and craters and aliens.
This mural needs cowboys.
We could paint just basketball players.
Why don't we take turns saying our ideas and then we can decide what to do?
Or no, maybe even a big river.
Hello?
Dunking the ball.
Hello? Yoo-hoo! Aw, forget it. They're not listening to me. I'm going home. Should I just leave? I don't know. I gotta think about this.
Spaceships, cowboys.
Basketball players.
Those are good ideas, but nobody's listening to each other.
Cowboys.
Hello? Yoo-hoo! Or me. That doesn't feel good. But wait, even if I feel bad, I shouldn't just leave. I should stay and tell them what I think. I know what to do.
Bingo.
Yeah, congratulations, boy. It really hits the spot. How much of what we saw there, in other words, Alma thinking to herself, viewing her friends, and talking about a piece of artwork that they might create on a, like graffiti on a legitimate graffiti on a Bronx store. How much of that was something that you remember experiencing and thinking about as a youngster in the Bronx? or something that you learned about This Is What Kids Think About through your, many years on Sesame Street?
Well, I think that particular episode wasn't exactly my experience.
Fair enough.
I could have learned a few lessons about listening to other people's points of view, but certainly there's Alma versus Eddie, which is a wonderful plot line where she takes a joke too far. That's something I would have done, and to the point where she annoys her cousin who she's playing this joke on, and she doesn't understand why he gets mad. And then she has to think about it before she comes to a conclusion. But a lot of the other stories are based on my life. One of them that I love to say is that, the great salsero Willie Colon used to live in my neighborhood. And my cousin Eddie played with his band. And one time I had a very depressing birthday. Nobody was paying any attention to me. Willie Colon and his band came to my apartment on Washington Avenue.
There you go.
Played for me. So that's a memory that I remember. And Jorge Aguirre, who's our head writer, took that little nugget of an idea and handed it to another writer to create this wonderful story where a famous fictitious singer comes to the Rivera household to entertain everyone.
Ellen, what's the challenge to taking those kinds of ideas, those kinds of thoughts, those kinds of experiences, and translating them to TV? Clearly, there's been a team effort here. You've got to have the right people. Talk to me kind of from the administrative point of view, putting this thing together.
Well, I think that there's not a lot of challenges in the stories that we put together. There's just tons of opportunity. We do take nuggets like Sonia described from her life and turn those into stories. And then it's also the team coming together with ideas from their experience. Also, we consult with child development experts on what it is that what it is that the children in our age group of 4 to 6 years old, the kinds of stories, the kinds of things that they need to learn, the stories that they would relate to the most. Mm-hmm. And that's how we come up with the 80 stories that we're telling in this first season.
What was it a hard sell for Fred Rogers Productions in general, or given Sonia Manzano's reputation and experience with PBS? It was like, well, Sonia wants to do it. She thinks it's a good idea. We'll just do it. Or was there also kind of a vetting process to say, we want to be careful about what we do. Is this the right program?
Well, there's always a vetting process, but this vetting process took about 30 seconds, which was the time to read the initial email about meeting with Sonia, and then to read the idea that she had about, when we first spoke with Sonia, she said, I want kids to know that they have a mind and they can use it. And she said she wanted to feature this Latino family, this Puerto Rican girl and her family living in the Bronx. And all of that just sounded fantastic. It just was like, yes, this needs to happen. We should be part of it.
Sonia, before the program, I shared with you that my own son, in whose bedroom, by the way, I happen to be doing this program, and he's grown and out of the house now, that he said it was kind of a shame it took so long for the media in general to represent urban life, Bronx life, even Hispanic life, in a positive way that inspires children that they're okay. Talk to me a little bit about that, because you've been on TV through this period of time, that this is now really, the first chance to do something like this.
Right. I don't know why it's taken so long. I guess that it's because the gatekeepers who make these decisions are intimidated by stories that aren't theirs. They're intimidated by stories about other people, though if they took the time to look at the story, they are universal themes that we all feel as human beings. I don't know why it's taken so long, but I hope that after Alma's Way airs, I hope that the legacy is this. I hope people say, like, oh my goodness, since that show Alma's Way was on the air, there have been a million shows about a million kinds of different people on the air. And maybe this is the beginning, but it certainly cannot take another 50 years. as it has.
Oh, certainly.
I was starting in this business.
I think it's a way of normalizing kind of normal life. I mean, the Bronx is a majority Hispanic county in the state of New York. 44 or 45% of the homes in the Bronx speak Spanish. So it's kind of a way of saying, well, wait a minute, this is life. This is urban life. This is 1/5 of America. We should portray it on television in a respectful way.
Absolutely. People make the assumption that because the Bronx is a troubled area, it was troubled when I was there, it was troubled in my household was troubled. The assumption is, well, there must be no joy there. And that's a misconception because there is joy everywhere. If there's joy in Frank McCourt's book, Angela's Ashes, there's joy in the Bronx, certainly.
Well, one of the things, and you've already alluded to it in talking about Willie Colon, and actually he took me on a tour of his old neighborhood once, so I might have walked right by your where you grew up. But music is a very big thing, and certainly a very big thing in the Bronx. I always tell people we invented like all of it. Whether it be R&B or salsa and all these sounds, of course, hip hop comes out of the Bronx. Talk to me about music and the importance of music, Sonia, if you would, in this program, because we're going to show a clip that features the kids involved in music.
Well, certainly after Sesame Street, where all that fabulous music was written, I learned, Rubber Ducky, It's Not Easy Being Green, Sing. I learned that it's important for kids, or it's a way of not looking down on them. They can tell when something is good and they can tell when something is bad. They might not know who Aretha Franklin is, but they can tell that voice is something that they could listen to. So I know that I've experienced that, and it was important for me to have really good music on the show. And we certainly have a plethora of beautiful music. I was raised on aguinaldos de Puerto Rico, salsa, bomba music, R&B in New York, and there's every kind of music represented in the show.
I don't want to drop names, but I've heard that Lin-Manuel Miranda did write a theme song. Is that what happened? Well, don't tell anybody.
Oh, are you kidding? It's out there.
Tell everybody.
Yes, tell everybody. I was so thrilled that he did it. I met him on Sesame Street a few times, but I knew his father. His father, Luis Miranda, was a Puerto Rican, active in the Puerto Rican community.
He's an icon in many ways.
So I called him up and I said, so please hook me up with your son so he can do this song for us. And as you know, Lin-Manuel Miranda has a way with words. He could use 4 words to say what it takes the rest of us 50 words.
Well, we're trying in a half hour here, so
I know.
and he did it in a little song. Anyway, let's show this clip. I love this clip. This is the children learning music with each other, and again, it hits to the roots of what kids are thinking and doing now. So here we go. Alma's Way.
Oh, hi, Alma.
You scared us. Sorry. I was just trying to figure out who was playing that music.
Oh, yeah. Tia Lulu let us use her music room so we could practice.
It sounded great, but aren't you tired of playing the same thing over and over and over again?
Nah. The more we play it, the better we get.
Yeah. When we first started playing the song, it sounded like this. That's what we thought, too.
But we've done it so many times that now we play it like this.
Wow, that was totally amazing. You should play that song for my mommy and papi.
Then we should invite my parents and abuelo, too.
And my mom.
Do you want to play with us, Alma?
Really? Sweet!
Yeah, we could use someone to keep the beat.
Oh, I can beatbox. I've done it with Poppy a bunch of times. Check it out. Boom, boom, ch, boom, 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 ch, boom, boom, ch, boom, 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 ch, buddy, bum, 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 boom, boom, ch, boom, boom, boom. Oh, yeah, boom, boom, ch, boom, boom, boom.
Whoa.
Okay, sweet.
You're so good. Beatboxing is just what a song needs.
Yeah, this is gonna be epic. Congratulations!
Woohoo!
You're in the band!
Woohoo!
All right, there we go. It's just infectious, and I know, I talk to Bronxites all the time. This is what Bronx people, what Bronx parents want their kids to, to ingest from television and all the media they get. Ellen, the voices and the people that were selected, they're incredible. I mean, from what I've seen, do you want to do a shout out and congratulate the people who are going to be on it? By the way, 8:30 every weekday morning from now on, right? That's what we're doing on Channel 13?
Yeah, 8:30 a.m. on Channel 13, Monday through Friday. Also available on the PBS Kids video app and on pbskids.org/Alma's Way, which is our website with videos and games as well.
There are games, yes. I mean, this is really reaching out to kids where they live and who they are. I loved it. Anyway, back to my question about, let's shout out to some of the voices. They're just wonderful. I mean, they fit right into those kids.
Yeah, the cast is fantastic. Summer Rose Castillo, who's also from the Bronx, is playing Alma. And we just have a huge cast of great people who are on the show. We did the casting all locally because you can't have people playing New Yorkers. Canadians playing New Yorkers was not going to fly. Canadians playing Latinas from New York, not going to fly.
Yes, and especially Bronxites, we're very particular about stuff like that. I know Sonia knows that. Now, I saw a list of episodes that are ready to go for October. Are all the rest done? Are you still writing? Where are we at right now in the development of the program? And I don't know who knows that better, Sonia or Ellen.
Ellen does, I think.
Ellen does?
Yeah.
Sonia just keeps cranking them out. They do what they want with them.
We are, next month, we're going to finish scripting on the first season, but there's 40 half-hour episodes. It'll take us into next fall to complete production on all of those. But the shows are premiering, we have a dozen episodes premiering in October this month, and then another Christmas special for December. About Noche Buena and Three Kings Day, and then also new episodes in January and throughout next year. So it'll just keep on rolling.
Sonia, when you wake up in the morning and you're maybe fixing breakfast and you say to yourself, I got an idea. This is what we should do. Is that how these ideas come, or you sit around a table with people? I'm always interested in an artist's muse. How do you come up with the ideas, or do you walk down the block and say, hey, that's a good idea?
Well, all of the above, but I'll tell you, it's been interesting with this COVID world that we're living in. It's much more fun to gather with a bunch of writers and toss around some ideas and see what sticks. That's the way I prefer to do it. That's how it was done on Sesame Street. And, it was also a lot of fun. So, but we're not doing that because everything is remote. So we have to depend on a lot of emails going back and forth. But they're little ideas, I'll watch a series, a bunch of the shows, and I'll think maybe she should have this gesture when she speaks to the audience, because she speaks to the audience a lot. And I'll share it with Ellen, I'll share it with Jorge, they'll talk about it. The main idea of being creative with a group is to come up with thoughts that turn other people on sincerely, and that they come up with something that you didn't think of.
Final question for you. Are you surprised that you're doing this now? At some point at the end of Sesame Street, did you say, that's it? I'm not going to do anything anymore? And now all of a sudden, not only are you involved in creating a program or writing a book, you're involved in this organic thing that's so far is not going to end. It's going to keep going.
Right. I am very surprised, but this is it. This is it. I'm not fooling anymore.
Listen, it's just wonderful to have you. Alma's Way, Sonia Manzano. I know that it's in the past, but she is or was Maria from Sesame Street. She still is Maria to so many of us. And so thank you so much for doing it. Ellen, we'll let you say 8:30 in the morning. Get on Channel 13, get your kids on Channel 13. You imagine young Bronx kids seeing this and seeing themselves in there. What could be better? Go ahead, Ellen, just make the sale. What should we do? Turn on the TV, check out the website.
Yeah, watch Alma's Way on Channel 13 on the website at pbs.org/Alma's Way on the PBS Kids video app. On Kids 13, the digital channel for WNET, you can just search Alma's Way PBS and find lots of info.
Got it. We got to run. Sonia Manzano, we're going to bring you back to talk about the Children's Museum, also important for our kids. Thank you very much. Thank you, Ellen Doherty from the Fred Rogers Productions. And we'll see you all around. Check out Alma's Way. It is about our hometown, and it is for our children. See you soon. Good night.